Okay, so topic for today is how can we find out predominance of certain gunas in a person. Now these gunas are fundamental to nature. In Sankhya philosophy, it is called the whole observable in universe can be divided into two parts, the Purush and the Prakriti. Prakriti is basically the nature, the objective world, and Purush is the pure consciousness that is aware of the Prakriti. For example, you have to understand it by your own experience, how you experience the world. From your own point of view, you are the experiencer of the entire universe, of the entire Prakriti. Now, ordinarily, this distinction between the experiencer and the nature gets cut down at your skin. That is, you consider the things apart from you which are beyond your skin. Okay, basically, you have a sense of your being as a as this somebody in this bag of skin. Okay, that is what you call as you. Okay, that is your own subjective experiencer. The basically the consciousness that experiences others is that a small identity that you call as I, and the rest others is the nature that you are experiencing, including all the live, all the unconscious things that you see. You are the experiencer. But deep down, you know that you also experience your own self just like you experience others. Is it not that you see your own hand? Is it not that you feel your own body? So basically, you are not this body, you are somebody who is residing in the body and experiencing the body, just like you experience all other objective phenomena in this world. This is not very easy to grasp in the first go, but as you experience, as you consider it as a matter of fact from deep down your heart, you will understand that this body is not you. You are somebody embodied. That is, you are somebody residing inside the body. A simple thought experiment can explain it to you. Like, just look at your hand. Okay, look at your hand and and see whether you are somebody who is looking at your hand or your hand is looking at you. That may sound a bit creepy, but this is a very trivial experiment. Basically, you are seeing your hand. So that means the knower is is you, and the body, including your hand, is what you are experiencing in your consciousness. Okay. In the same fashion, you 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 basically see your own mind. Typically it is considered that majority people understand that okay, they are not the body, they are somebody embodied inside, but they are the mind, this intellect, this thinking what is going on inside you is basically what constitutes you. But in the Indian philosophy, it is not the mind that is you, but you are somebody who experiences your mind. You are somebody who uses your mind. Okay, so the bottom line is just like this objective world, you are seeing others, you are seeing your own self, your own body, your own mind. So that pure consciousness you are, who is experiencing your own mind, your own body. Let us term it as your main body as the gross body, okay, and the mind as the subtle body. Indeed, it is called sthul sharir and the sukshma sharir. And in the sukshma sharir, it is a subtle matter. That matter is is not yet discovered. You cannot, but it's your own experience. What you feel. Sometimes you feel very angry, sometimes you feel very depressed, sometimes you feel jealous, sometimes you feel excited, fun loving, sometimes you feel hatred. All these emotions, if somebody comes and dissects you, he'll not be able to find any gross material that can be considered to be your emotions of love or your emotions of hatred or your emotions of pain and pleasure. These are all the subtleties of the mind. And but in the gross body you can find out its counterparts. For example, when you feel very excited, there is a release of certain hormones, and those hormones and those hormones are part of your uh, sthul sharir, your gross body. But that feeling of exhilaration, that feeling of pain, that feeling of disgust, that feeling itself is a subtle matter. Okay, and that subtle matter, including the gross matter and including all the matter that exists in the universe, that entire thing is called prakriti, the nature. And the pure consciousness that experiences all these subtle and gross matters out there is called consciousness, is called purush. Eventually these two are not separate things. These two are not like the two fundamental entities of the universe. It is eventually just one, ekam satya ditiyam nasti. It's only one truth, and that truth is that you are the pure consciousness, and everything else, including the nature, is just a manifestation of the same consciousness. It, but for the purpose of this lecture, so even though eventually it turns out to be the entire Prakriti, the entire nature is just a play of your own pure consciousness. But for the transactional world, for this uh, practical world that we see all around us, it is very essential to bifurcate it into these three gunas. These three gunas are the fundamental character of everything that is going on in the universe. These are called Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. They just not only characterize the gross matter as well as they characterize the subtle matter also. And astrologically speaking, the planets out there, they they represent these gunas, and depending on the time when you're born, depending on your chart, effect of these planets affect the percentage of these gunas in your constitution, and depending on the so everything that is manifest in this world as a gross matter of the sthul sharir or of the subtle matter of the sukshma sharir is characterized out of these three gunas. Satogun. Satogun is the quality of light, of bliss inside you. The bliss inside you is a very peculiar thing. It comes to you when you are least bothered about yourself, when you are totally relaxed, absolutely satisfied, and compassionate towards others. The feeling of love, feeling of in a state of complete satisfaction and total relaxation that happens in the state of satoguna. In the state of rajoguna, the person is involved in some kind of motion. Motion in the sense, a person does not feel satisfied in a place where he is right now. In fact, you might have seen people who are constantly in the state of move. Wherever they are just trying to escape and go somewhere else, feeling that in that place they'll feel very they'll like that place and they'll be satisfied over there. But eventually they just keep roaming around here and there throughout their life or throughout their day, and in the end exhausted and they just go to sleep. This kind of behavior is pretty common in the people who are predominantly rajoguna. Rajoguna is the constant state of movement, constant state of vibration. It is very important guna for highly ambitious people, politicians, and even the people who want to achieve something, because achievers are those people who are not satisfied with their current status and they want to reach to some place in their life, not literally in the sense of movement, but in the sense of a higher state of living. So they'll be in a state of dissatisfaction. Okay, and the continuous dissatisfaction, uh, since they will be kind of achievers, so sometimes it may so happen that they will not achieve to their expectation, and this results in dissatisfaction, anger, even jealousy also, if they find that some other person has achieved more than what they could. So basically, calm, krodh, lobh, moh, all these are the predominant features, predominant characteristics of the people who have rajoguna, mainly rajoguna in their mind. Then comes tamoguna. Tamoguna is a state of inertia. It is a state of inertia wherein an inertia and darkness. It is as if you are in some kind of hallucination, and in that hallucination you are you are neither doing anything for that problem and nor you are satisfied, like a state of depression wherein you are not doing anything about it, you are just lying in that darkness. uh, Suppose you are there at home and you feel like having chocolate. Okay, you feel urge to have that chocolate. Now suppose you don't have enough money to buy one. So what you can do is you have three choices. First, either you feel that okay, it's fine, let's not have the chocolate, and and feel satisfied with whatever you have. Okay, be happy and be in light mood and control your craving. So that kind of state is called sattva, wherein you are just in a state of satisfaction, in a state of bliss, and that is uh, a very desired state actually, because eventually it must so happen that you may obtain some chocolate sometimes, but there will be things that you cannot obtain with your efforts. And so it is a very very good, very godly characteristic, what we call devi sampat. It's a very godly characteristic inside you that makes you feel satisfied with whatever you have. Another kind of approach here is, if you don't have money, then you go and you work hard, get the money, and get the chocolate and satisfy yourself. This kind of thing is predominant in rajoguna people, because they are ambitious and high achiever. So they just go out and earn that money and get the chocolate or get whatever thing they want. So rajoguna people, they are very predominant in this. Then comes tamoguna. Now tamoguna people, they, since they do not have money and they also do not have the quality of going out and achieving things, so they'll just feel, they'll just be feeling depressed, feeling sad about that they don't have enough money and that nobody cares for them and that they are very wretched people. So in that gloomy darkness they'll just bury themselves. And if tamoguna is very high in such people, they will they will take help of intoxications to basically live in that hallucination. Okay, like if somebody's girlfriend has left him or some sad thing has happened in his life, then instead of coming over it, he'll just keep cycling and recycling those thoughts in his mind and eventually get bogged down under its own load. So this kind of thing, this kind of attitude is predominant in people who are mainly tamoguna pradhan. Okay, so these three qualities, the satoguna is basically light and non-movement. Okay, these two things are important. First of all, there should be light, a state full of light. That's a pleasurable state. And non-movement, non-movement because it doesn't require any movement for the satisfaction. It is satisfied in its own self. That is predominance of satoguna. Second is rajoguna. Rajoguna is full of movement. Then tamoguna. Tamoguna is dark, gloomy, and lacking any movement. So basically satoguna and tamoguna, they are essentially same, except that there is presence of light in satoguna and there is absence of light in tamoguna. And rajas is full of movement, full of ambitions. And when we map these characteristics to the individual selves, to the individual minds, we find out that very beautifully all these characteristics are correlated. Like out there in the universe, if you see a rock, a piece of rock is lying there somewhere. It may be lying there for thousands, millions of years. That kind of inertia is there in that rock. That rock is basically symbol of tamoguna, tamas pradhan prakriti. Then you see the rajo pradhan prakriti, like air element. Okay, or the cosmic prana. Cosmic prana, the breathing principle, it governs the entire universe. It makes things happen. Like the breathing that is happening inside you, that breathing triggers all other pranas inside your body. So your entire metabolism, all the all the metabolic activities happening inside you is basically part of nature's rajoguna. So rajas is important for life. Rajas is very important to live in this transactional world. Without rajas, you will not be able to stay just for a second on this planet. In fact, see, even science claims, even deep down, the fundamental elements are molecules, atoms, electrons, protons, and nowadays there are many more fundamental particles coming up like gluon, fermion, boson, and And at that level of quantum physics, you see that even these fundamental particles, they are a vibration, just the vibration of the just the vibration, a certain frequency wave. Okay, so you see even the fundamental nature of each and everything, of each and every gross matter is just a vibration. It's just a rajogun at one level. At that deepest level, it's just the rajoguna that is predominating. So what is essential here is the person should have a balanced constitution of rajoguna and satoguna. Okay, rajoguna is important to stay on this planet, to be practical in this life, and satoguna is important from the perspective that if rajas is not able to get you what you want, then you should not be disheartened and go into depression or take aid of intoxications and all those things, but you should feel satisfied with whatever you have. So a combination of satoguna and rajoguna is very healthy. The worst is the highest tamoguna, and combination of tamas and rajas, that is also not desirable. Okay, so now let us see how we can find out the predominance of these things in a person's chart.